Welcome to the Blessed Mindset Matters podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Raykel Tosin, and we are broadcasting on WYTV7 Community Broadcasters Network. And you know, at WYTV7, we empower, we encourage, we educate. And if you have been enjoying the Blessed podcast, I need you to do me a favor. Go to www.wytv7.org. Hit that donate button so we can continue to be here and present to you all the good stuff that we have for you. And we also feed families and we send kids to college. So go hit the donate button. All right, so it's 2022. Numerologically, it's the number 6. It's a year, the universal number of 6. 6 represents family, cooperation, love. And then the 2s, I didn't even talk about this, but the 2s, 2 is a, lovely number. Couples, love. This is a love year. And my guest today is my son. You guys know him, Lorenz, and his fiance, Diamond. Welcome to the Blessed Podcast, guys.
Hello.
So Lorenz did a thing.
I did a thing.
He did a thing. Diamond showed the ring. He put a ring on it. He asked Diamond to marry him. And so what I want to talk about today, in line with families, what we've been talking about, I wanted to know what millennials, people in their 20s, because I know some millennials are turning 40, okay? Some millennials are turning 40. But 20-something millennials and just 20-something people in general, I wanted to know when they think about getting married, family, I wanted to know what they thought about. So I don't know if you guys saw, but Will Smith, he portrayed Richard Williams, the Serena and Venus's father, and King Richard. Great movie. Did you guys see it?
Mm-hmm. It's a great movie.
Great movie. And one of the things, he had this vision for his daughters, and the whole family had to be a part of his vision. Only 2 of the girls were tennis stars, but the whole family, all the girls had to do their homework, all the girls had to get good grades, but the other girls couldn't be in other things because that would have taken the attention away from what everybody was supposed to do. Everybody was at the tennis courts.
Yeah.
All the sisters was at the tennis courts. It was a family affair. When Venus and Serena, when they win their Wimbledon, they really for real got to thank their sisters, their mom, or that everybody was a part of this vision. And it just makes me wonder, do we think about now do we have visions for our family like that? What do y'all think?
Well, for ourselves, I think we have a vision of where we want to be in the position we want to be for our future kids. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like we also want to expose our kids to a lot of things because we don't know who our kids are going to be. We don't know who they want to be. And I think something that I've learned from you is that expose them to a lot of things. And let them choose when the time comes to make those decisions for themselves. But the exposure in itself is kind of the guiding way, and we can have ideas about that.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really interesting because he said he got that from me, but let me just share. And I'm just going to be transparent. So as a mother, I did expose him to things, but I saw what he was good at and what he might not have been that good at. He happened to be good at a lot of stuff. Like, he was good at sports, so I exposed him to sports. Let him decide. He was like, football wasn't for him because he was too broke down. He was like, oh, this hurts. I don't want to do this. Baseball is probably looking good right now. But so it was just really interesting. So I did expose him, but the thing is, I'm a sports person. So of course I expose them to sport because I'm a sports person. Mm-hmm. A mother that may not be a sports person may not expose her child to sports. Or like, even if it was like a girl, some people expose their girls to sports and not dance. Because I don't know, if you would have been a girl, it might have been all about the dance. It wouldn't have been it probably would have been soccer and basketball. It would have, because I love to dance. I was a dancer. Mm-hmm. So it may have been that. And he had to play piano. because I believe in the music.
Well, let's back it up.
Well,
let's back it up. that was one of those instances where, as a child, I expressed interest in playing the piano. Now, my means for playing the piano, whether it be Bugs Bunny or not, okay, I expressed
and Kirk Franklin.
And Kirk Franklin, but Bugs Bunny was the guy because I was like, I want to flip my tails, my tux tails like Bugs Bunny did.
Oh, right.
So, but that was my, I associated myself with that, and so from there, I was able to then say, hey, I want to learn how to play the piano.
But I'm just telling you, I always knew that music was going to be a part of it.
But
and
then
I mean, even in his name,
you know.
but his name, God gave me the name David, is because I wanted him to be named Lorenz. But God gave me the middle name David, because it's like the man after his own heart. But then David was a musician. Yeah. David was a singer and all that stuff. And I just felt David. And then so it just made sense that he was going to be in music. So I knew for a fact that music was going to be something that I did try to push on you. Yeah. And then, but here's the thing to parents though, when we have a vision for our kids and our family, we can expose them and try to push them in that direction. But we don't necessarily have to be dogmatic about it, because I just think about like Venus and Serena, they were good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when their dad, exposed them to it and was doing all that, and then they was good at it, and them girls liked that thing. Oh, but let's talk about the Jacksons, because Janet's finna have a little thing on, and I used to wear my key in the earring. I used to think I was Janet Jackson, y'all, but the fat Janet Jackson. Big Janet Jackson. But Joe Jackson had a vision for his family. Everybody was singing. And Janet's going to talk about that because she wanted to act, and she's a great actor. But, the penny is not the man in my... Very good. It's not the man in my... Oh, anyway. But he was like, no, we sing. We sing in this family. And let's just be clear. Her riches is from singing. Yeah, she's a good actor. I like to see her stuff, but she paid from singing. Joe had a vision for his family, and so like, is it a bad thing to present a vision to your family and be like, hey, look, this is what we finna do?
Right. I don't think it's a bad thing. No, it's not. I mean, you can introduce the idea, but that does not mean that your child's gonna want to do it. I don't think it's bad to propose I would like you guys to do this, and then your child's like, you know what? No. But I don't think it's bad to push that.
Because at the end of the day, a child is a child.
Yeah.
A child is
a child. And they don't know nothing.
They don't know nothing. Look at Tiger Woods' son. I don't know if y'all heard this.
Yeah.
This baby can play.
Oh, he can play.
His mother is
play.
Concerned that it's going to be too much and overwhelming for him to follow in his father's footsteps. But this baby is already doing it. Boss. And then somebody was saying, well, Tiger Woods' dad, he had this vision and he kind of alienated him from his siblings and all this stuff. But I think Tiger understood that, and he's not, because his daughter is always at the golf tournaments with them. So he's not alienated. He was like, hey, look, this is what we all gonna do.
And it makes sense. You talk about your dad is the Tiger Woods. Yeah. All of the money that you live off of comes from sponsorships and him swinging that club. Right. When you were a baby, all you saw was your daddy practicing in the backyard, putting, chipping, going to the driving range. This is what you grew up with. And so I think it also depends on just family dynamic.
Yeah, even LeVar Ball and his
another one. That's a great guy.
Yeah, he had a vision. All my sons are going to the NBA. He has 2 out of the 3 in the NBA.
Yeah.
So he had a vision, and his boys were born.
And the second one is better than the first.
Yeah.
No,
the youngest
one better than both of them. But wait, how about this? So we're talking about sports, but watch this. DJ Khaled, his son, Ahmad. He got producer credits, and he wasn't even talking.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
Blue Ivy.
But
I think Blue Ivy is going more so towards the Adidas, more of the fashion stuff.
But I'm saying, but when she was a baby,
Oh,
she was on the thing, and so she was a part of it.
Both Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But even Steph and Steph Curry, their dad played basketball. That's two.
Yeah.
Even Travis Kelsey, his
Yes,
brother, the family. So it's just kind of like.
There's a whole lot
And
of
then
football
even Cooper
families.
Cup, his dad was a pro football
Let's talk
player.
about the Paytons.
The Paytons.
Yeah.
The Mannings.
The Mannings,
Right.
the Mannings,
The
the
Mannings.
Mannings,
Exactly.
The Barbers. Rondé.
Robbers. Who else? The defense, the defensive players. Well, there's two defensive, and then the one running back. Oh man.
But basically,
yes.
but what we're saying
Yes.
is having a vision for your family is not. And okay, so we're talking about like all of these like kind of fancy, where you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But in our family,
Teaching.
education.
Yeah.
Even my grandfather, who did not go to college, what he told my sister, he said, when you go on a job, you don't just go to do the job. You go to learn the job so you can teach other people how to do the job.
Yeah.
So I didn't even realize that, but he was an educator.
Yeah.
Without a formal education, and then everybody in our family, it's not, Lorenz is actually a high school teacher.
Yeah.
But not everybody does. I teach through my podcast, through writing books.
Yeah.
I do it in the way I'm a financial educator, trying to help people grow their money tax-free, risk-free, to make sure they can protect their families with life insurance. But I'm not just selling life insurance. I'm trying to teach people how to live their lives in a way that makes more sense. And so education, really, that's kind of our legacy. That's kind of our thing. And so it's really interesting how we present it to the people coming up.
Yeah.
That, hey, our family's about education.
Yeah.
Do whatever you're going to do, but try to educate people while you're doing it.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I it's funny. Well, it was because we talked about this as a family. But education can be in everything. So even though we've been talking about sports, just because you play that sport, you might not be the best player, but you might have the IQ and the understanding of that game where your path ain't to actually play the game, but it's to coach the game.
That part. Or
being a general manager. We don't talk about that a lot, especially in black families, because it's really hard to do that. But they hire GMs about how to manage a team.
Right.
And to have a management system, because you can educate the people under you on how we run this organization.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, but it's also something that was it's one of those hereditary things. I think these are traits and skills that are passed down through families and generations. It's lineage. And I think, honestly, I have a very strong sense that if we were to really go way back, when we talk about the lost generations of, African Americans and slavery and all that stuff, I really feel that if we were to go way back, I wouldn't be surprised finding our lineage in Timbuktu. Teaching. And the mecca of education, of academia, because we just got it. And because I was a musician. I didn't go in thinking that I was I am a musician, but I didn't come out of high school or college thinking that I was going to be a music teacher. That wasn't my first goal. I wanted to be in the business. I'm still in the business, but it was just something that I already innately had within me, in my spirit, that was given to me as a generational trait.
Right.
And I think it's very important for families to understand those generational traits, because no matter what you do, those traits still transcend your being.
Right.
Whether you're going into music, whether you're going into education, whether you're going into sports, whether you're going into film, medicine, technology, all of these things.
Right. So we need to take a break. We will be right back. Hey, don't sleep on us. Come back, because we got more. We're talking families. We're talking legacy. We're talking vision. We'll be right back.
Looking for something to spice things up this Valentine's Day? Well, you can discover how. You can rock the bedroom. Dr. Betsy Greenleaf and WYTV7 presents Rock the Bedroom with Passion and Massage with Lee Jager. This is a women's empowerment seminar held Saturday, February 5th, 2022 at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Go to wytv7.org/events to sign up now.
And we're back. All right. So we are talking family. We are talking vision for the family. We are talking legacy. So one of the things I really wanted to talk about is the success. Because we've been talking about successful families. Yeah. You know, the Jacksons, successful. Venus, Serena, Williams. We've been talking about successful families. But how do we define success for our kids without putting undue pressure? Like, let's just say, for Tiger Woods, his son may not be like him, right. But would that mean he's not successful if he doesn't do exactly what his dad did? Right. Mm-hmm. You know, so like, what is your definition of success?
I'll let you take this first.
I'll let you take that one. My definition? I put this. Answer it.
You answer it.
Okay, it depends. I think it really depends. For me, because I can talk for me.
Yeah.
For me, success is being able to do what I love, and because I'm an educator, being able to at the end of each year, right? I think I had a successful year if I have students and parents, but mainly my students, who come up to me and say, "Mr. Tolson, I learned something."
So you're successful if they feel like they've learned.
If I can feel like they have learned the skills that I've been teaching them throughout the year, if they feel like they are confident in those practices that I have had them do over and over again, if they feel like they have learned to play at a larger or better level than they started at the beginning of the year, and that they just had fun doing what they were learning, this new item or new skill, I succeeded. Okay. You know? But I think it depends on everybody's career. I think it depends on everybody's path, what they define to be successful.
And so when you say that, though, and this is like what's really important to me, because I think sometimes there's an undue with social media.
Of course.
Looking at what other people are doing. And y'all know I like to use this TV show, but it's not that I'm hating on them, but they're like keeping up with the Kardashians. You know, those kind of things, it makes you feel like, well, if I'm not making a lot of money, if I'm not a millionaire, I'm not being able to go on yachts. If not, we live in LA. Yeah. The Rams are hopefully going to the Super Bowl. But guess what? We can't afford to go to the Super Bowl. Are we not successful because we can't go to pay $15,000 for a ticket to go to the Super Bowl?
Right.
And so these are the kind of things, because when you see all these people at the Super Bowl part, we like, well, why we ain't there? You know, and then you start thinking, I'm like, and I'm a person that, I'm just being honest, I feel like I'm evolved and I'm, but sometimes it does feel like it weighs, like, why can't I afford to go to the freaking Super Bowl?
Everyone's priorities are different.
Well, I mean, but even still, but it's just like, I enjoy watching the game, and it's in LA, and the LA home team go play, and it's like, what do I need to do? What am I not doing? And it's like, and you get caught up. Yeah. And so I understand, like, I'm not, I'm just saying, being honest, things around you can make you feel like you're not successful.
And I can tell you for a fact, as millennials, especially like you said, Instagram, you see a lot of other millennials who are taking these trips. They're going and, being flued out, or
flued out,
having the times of their lives out here on boats, all this kind of stuff. And even we have moments where we're like, we have access to go places. I work a job that allows us to travel
for free.
For free. But even then, there are still times where we say, maybe this ain't the weekend to go.
Yeah,
So, but does that still mean that we aren't successful? No. It's just, and I think that's very important for millennials and people who are trying to, for people in general, is to realize you got to put your priorities. And you have to be, I'm a very fact person,
Right.
I'm a realist. There you go. I'm a realist. I'm a hopeful realist. I put that. I'm an optimistic realist. I told you that. But can we afford to do that right now?
Right.
Is it something that we really need to do, or can we actually be at home and build on the things we need to build on in order that not to just take a weekend, but a week?
But we do that a lot. I plan things. I'm like, you know what? Let's save and do it bigger or do it another time. Our priorities are different. Some people have it to where, I have to do this, but I'm going to spend money on a Rams game that costs. Everyone's priorities are different. Yeah. But I mean.
And let's take the Super Bowl. That's $15,000. We are a couple who just got engaged, planning a wedding. Our wedding venue is $8,000. What we spending $15,000 for one day when our important one day is $8,000.
And you mean you need $30,000 if you get
correct
tickets.
that part. So you know what I'm saying? That's our whole wedding budget right there. It's gone. So we gonna get married at the game. If we gonna spend $30,000, you better say halftime, not after Mary J and them done got off the stage. Oh, introducing Mr. and Mrs. Tosin, okay? I done paid enough for the venue. We'll come with the dressing room. We gonna do it, but we're gonna get married today, okay?
That's so funny.
But in reality, though, we're talking about legacy. We're talking about building families. These are the things, and why I think a lot of millennials today choose not to get in these types of relationships.
Because what do you mean in these type of relationships?
When we're talking about long-term
marriage,
because they don't feel like they're at a point in their life where they can afford these things.
Because they want that Instagram life, and they can't afford Instagram life.
They want the Instagram gratification of, how much did that ring cost?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When is your bridal shower? What are you going to do? Are you going to, get all your groomsmen and all your bridesmaids, these really expensive gifts? It don't take all that. It don't take all
Social media.
Because if you live by your means and you bring the people that love you for who you are and what you do and not what you have, it don't matter. The moment is still going to be special. And because then what happens is, you want to, again, live by your means so that, again, the whole point of being married and unified is to create a life together and to eventually create a legacy because, not everybody wants kids, but we do. It's like, what type of foundation are we laying out for that next generation?
And what's important, like you said, something about priorities and all that, and so it's really important and defining success. For yourself, not allowing the world to define success for you, because I think that whole success thing can really mess people up. So if you are out there and you are dealing with I'm a failure and all that, you got to change your mindset about what success is, because you may be successful. Like Lorraine said, it's not about how much money he made at the end of the year. It was about somebody learned something. Somebody came over, a young woman that I mentor at a job, and she was saying how much my advice meant to her. How she still, even though we haven't been together in a few years, she still thinks about some of the things that I used to say to her at work, and it helps her. That was huge. It's like, I am a successful person, even if everybody don't know my name. Y'all might know about Ayana and y'all don't know Raykel, but I'm just as successful because the people that I am touching, they getting it. Yeah. They are learning, they are moving, they are making their lives better. So I am very successful. And I think that when we think about legacy, that's what we got to create. We got to create within our families a structure or something that we help everybody that's coming up to define success. Because if we allow outside to define it, we're going to have more of our babies killing themselves. Mm-hmm. And that just happened in our family, and it just happened in Regina King's family. If she, blessings to that whole family, because we know any family that's dealing with that, because we know what that means. But I'm saying we have to be very intentional in saying things out loud to let people know that they are doing good, that we are proud of them, that they are successful in what they're doing at that moment. And that's the thing. You don't have to be hit. Let's go back to Tiger Woods, baby. Yeah. He's successful just because he picked up and he swings with Serena Williams, baby, y'all. Yeah. Have y'all seen the video? Olympia, she's swinging. I think she ain't won nothing yet, but she's very successful. She got the stands, and she is having a good time. She's very successful. Serena, I hope that she's teaching her that she's successful not because she wins, but because she just out there doing her thing.
And it's funny because we're talking about legacy. Mm-hmm. And recently I've been really into my Madden 22. Mm-hmm. Okay. And there's a chance where you can create a player and it's about the franchise, the face of the franchise. Mm-hmm. But along with that, there's this list about legacy points. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And so based on your accomplishments, you create legacy points. And the more accomplishments, the higher your legacy goes. And I think in real life terms, your legacy points comes from who remembers you.
So it's not who you know, but it's who know you.
Yeah. And I think the more people remember, man, that Mr. Tolson, I'll never forget that guy.
That's legacy points.
My mentor, Bob Bruning, he has a legacy always in my heart. Because that's the man who taught me. And then I'm making sure that when I teach my students, I got it from this guy. So his legacy will forever live on because I am spreading his name.
That's deep. Because like my mom, she was like the consummate teacher. Yeah. All her babies are doing so well. Yeah. And everybody remembers Granny and what she does. And I tell people all the time when they meet me, they're experiencing her. Yeah. Because what she gave to me, they're getting to experience her and my dad. He's still alive. Yeah. He's gonna be here to 125 because the reason is because when I turn 100, he has to give me $100. So we're gonna be here for a long time. But anyway, that legacy is like it's important. And so when people meet him, they're meeting me. And what I'm imparting in him, he's going to impart in them. And then their kids are going to. And so I live on forever through the family. And that's why I think it's so important, though, when people get together, these young people, that it's not, you got to be in love. Love is cool. But it's bigger than that.
It is.
Yeah. It is. And they have to realize that it's bigger than their love. That they have to be able to create a legacy, not just for their kids, but for their children's children. Yeah. And that's like when we talk about I told him, and it's so funny, people like laugh at me when I say, I was like, have as many kids as you can afford houses. He was like, huh? I say, you can only afford one house, you should only have one kid because you got that one house to leave that kid. Yeah. You're going to have 2 kids, you need to make sure you got 2 houses. And people are like, what is that? That's legacy. That's creating, making sure they got something. That's what we call generational wealth. Yeah. And it's not like you gotta have a whole lot of money. No. You can go to a town that the houses cost $30,000 and buy 4 houses and have 4 kids. You got your thing. Yeah. It's not about money, people. It's about just thinking that I want to make sure I have something to leave my child, and they leave their children, and they grow on it because it's important. It's important. Yeah. Like, as Black people,
Yeah.
our wealth is so far below Caucasian people.
Yet we are the highest consumers.
We're the highest consumers. And then the thing is, most of it really is houses, real estate.
Yeah.
I don't have the money to give you a house, but I have a house to leave you.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
So now y'all can expound on that, because then when y'all kids, y'all can give them a house. So I have enjoyed this conversation. We're gonna bring y'all back, because all year we are talking about families, we're talking about love, we're talking about cooperation, we're talking about legacy. Hey, y'all, get with this. Family, focus on the family in 2022. I promise you will not regret it. Until next week, be blessed.
Be blessed.
Be blessed.